Welcome! I am your story keeper, Miss Bobbie, the keeper of stories at the children's department of the Wando Mount Pleasant Library. Don't look so frightened, children, because even though we're talking about a scary book, it's one that's going to give you a frightening scream that you'll actually enjoy. And it is called Why I Quit Zombie School from the Hall of Horror series in Goosebumps by R.L. Stine. Welcome. Step inside to the Hall of Horrors, hidden in the most deepest, darkest corner of Horrorland. When Matt's parents drop him off at boarding school, he is immediately introduced to Franny, who gives him a tour of the school. Franny led the way down the hall. I saw classroom doors and long lines of metal lockers on both walls. Kids move so slowly. I guess they weren't in any hurry to get to their next class. Franny waved to some girls in red and black cheerleader outfits. We're just past them. A tall, skinny boy kept groaning and slamming his fist on his locker. I guess it was just stuck. "Have you gone here a long time?" I asked. Franny nodded. "Yeah, pretty long." "What's it like?" I asked. "Dead," she replied. I waited for her to say more, but she didn't. So I said, "What do you mean?" "You'll get used to it," she answered. "Huh? What does that mean?" Three boys edged past us, eyes straight ahead. They seemed to be stepping in slow motion. One of them did a funny frog croak, and then the other two laughed, then copied him. All three of them croaked like frogs as they moved down the hall. The air was cold and damp, and the whole hall had that gym locker room smell. You know, the sweaty, musty kind. "Why is everyone walking so slowly?" I asked Franny. She kept her eyes straight ahead. "Silly question," she muttered. "No, really," I said. "Why is everyone walking in slow motion?" She frowned at me. "Don't make stupid jokes," she said. We turned a corner, but I still wanted Franny to explain. The two huge dudes stepped up and blocked the hall. They had to be twins. They were tall and very wide, with short blonde hair and enormous heads with huge ears that looked like they would flap in the wind. Their black t-shirts stretched tight over their massive chests. Standing side by side, they filled the whole hallway. "Are you the new kid?" one of them boomed. I started to reply, but a choked cry escaped my throat. I stared at their eyes. They had no pupils. They were solid white. The more he observes the pale-faced, wide-eyed students, he realizes that Franny wasn't joking at all. The entire high school is dead, and he is the only living student at Romero Academy. All the other students love to climb to the highest building on campus, where they just free fall and splat to the sidewalk. And on top of that, their favorite meal is rotting red meat. At least he's the fastest kid on the soccer team. But that's only because the only zombie students are so slow. He has got to figure out how to keep it a secret that he's actually alive, or the zombies might turn him into one of the undead themselves. So why are these zombie kids so pale and move so slow? That's because their brains aren't exactly working right. If you have a zombie brain, then blood can't be pushed through your body like it needs to be to give your face color, and that's also why they don't bleed whenever they splat on the sidewalk. And that's also why they're so cold to the touch. All right, so I have a super fun craft for you to do at home with some simple household ingredients. We're gonna be making fluffy zombie slime, so you can see exactly how these zombie brains look. The first thing that you're going to need is 2 cups of glue. So you're going to want to get that into your bowl first and mix it in with about 2 cups of shaving cream. And the more shaving cream that you add, the fluffier that your zombie slime is going to be. Next, you want to add about a tablespoon of baking soda and your food coloring. So I used a few different colors to make my zombie slime. I encourage you to get as creative as you want and make it whatever color you would like. I used a few different colors, one of them being blue, which you probably would never guess. And then I also used green, red, and I used some black paint to really make it dark. So you can mix these colors or even make a variety of your own color to create your own new zombie brain. And the last ingredient that you want to add is the contact solution, because it has this amazing ingredient that's going to actually make it form into the slime instead of just some goopy, colorful mess in your bowl. And whenever you're done, you should get something that looks like this. So this is great. You can sit here and fiddle with it all you want, make all of the slime that you want. Maybe you can add something new in your zombie brain. Maybe you can add some creepy crawly worms coming out, or maybe a few bones, anything just to make it as cool and creepy and zombie-like as possible. So now that we have looked at exactly what a zombie brain looks like, what do we need to do to make sure that we keep our brains nice and healthy and not like your zombie-like material? So first thing, don't hang out with other zombies. That's probably the best step, because Matt is staying as far away from these zombie kids as he can because he doesn't want to give it away that he's alive. So just steer clear. Second thing, did you know that your brain is made up of 75% water? If you don't hydrate throughout the day, you can't keep your brain running nicely to learn and grow and do everything that you need to do to be healthy. Next, you should rest your brain, because your brain produces like 70,000 thoughts a day. That is so many thoughts, and that must be so hard. So make sure that you just take a deep breath throughout the day if you feel like your brain is getting overwhelmed, and get a good night's sleep. And then also, you should stretch and exercise, because your brain needs to breathe. And your brain can't breathe unless it has oxygen. So stretch your muscles out and get outside like riding your bike. But if you do ride your bike, wear your helmet, or your zombie brain will be splashed on the sidewalk in no time. Okay, that's all that I have for you today. Join us for our next Goosebumps and Gore video, because there's always time for one more scream. Happy Halloween!